what's taking place. So if we're going to talk about applying this verse or whether this verse actually takes place, you have to see whether it applies on a real scale. And if it doesn't, then you can't say this person is justified. This person has no justification whatsoever. The same thing like the Crusaders, for example. The Crusaders are the perfect example. When they came into Jerusalem, they slaughtered everybody. They slaughtered Christians, they slaughtered Jews, they slaughtered Muslims. They took the babies, children, they cooked them alive and they ate them. In case you don't know, most people probably don't know that history. That's what actually happened. They ate them alive. They burned them alive, boiled them, and ate them. Now, on what basis? On the basis of the book. It was all from the book. This is from the Bible. But the average Christian will tell you that no way, that does not represent what real Christianity is about. You know, and we're saying the exact same thing. We're saying the exact same thing. And there was a question in the back. I saw someone with their hand in the back. It's gone? Okay, yeah.
This is not the truth. Okay, what we find is that we find tips and some people apply. When we find some incident, for example, here in Texas, his brother in the military screaming Allah Akbar.
Okay, so what is your question exactly?
My question.
Alright, like I told you, it has to do with, I don't know, maybe you weren't here in the beginning, but it's about the context. So when the context applies, then it applies. When the context doesn't apply, it doesn't apply anymore. So if someone is not, for example, it says, and fight the people until there's no more fitna, and drive them out of their homes where they drove you out of your homes. And it says, wait a minute, drive them out of their homes from where they drove you out of their homes. If no one kicked you out of your home, right, and your home is fine, and it's intact, and no one did anything to you, then how do you go and kick someone else out of their home? Right? But if someone goes and actually kicks you out of your home, now what do? So, well, I need guidance. What am I going to do? You're going to either use your brain or you're going to use the scripture. And the scriptures there in the Quran says, okay, we have here that if someone goes and kicks you out of your home, someone goes and oppresses you, someone goes and kills your entire family, yes, you have some permission to do something about it. And if you don't, and this is what is jihad. You guys heard this term, right? Jihad. And you go, ooh, jihad. That must be some Arab guy with a turban on. He's on his horse. He's got a giant sword in his hand. And he's about to cut my head off if I don't accept Islam. That's the picture that you have in your mind about jihad. But you know what jihad is? Jihad is struggle. It means struggling against oppression. That is what jihad means. So if you're telling me, as students right here, that if you see somebody about to go and rape another woman right here on campus, and it happens in many campuses. Someone's about to rape a woman and you guys are in a group of 5 people and you walk by and you're going to tell me that you're going to do nothing about it? You've abandoned what we call jihad. You've abandoned it. And if you're going to tell me that we're a problem because we believe that we should apply some force to stop this oppression that's taking place, then wow, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. But this is what Islam teaches. This is what it's about. People are being killed. People are being murdered. People are being raped. People are going across the board. There's oppression. There's all of these things that are going on in the world. When Islam comes and tells us to go do jihad, to go and stop the oppression, it means to stop the oppression. If you become the oppressor, you're not doing jihad anymore. But if you're stopping the oppression like someone who really does it, like a police officer who puts his life on the line, that's a jihad. Like a soldier who's going and fighting for a just cause and stopping terrorists, stopping oppressors, that's considered to be a jihad. So that's what the term means. Keep that concept in mind. And people who become calm, people who don't want to do anything about it, and they'd rather sit on their Facebook, they'd rather sit on their Twitter, they'd rather be text messaging, and they don't care if someone else is being killed across the board. When they hear a statistic, how many people are being murdered, how many people are dying because of sanctions, and it doesn't hit their heart at all. It means nothing to them. Say, well, you know what? There's a new movie just came out in the cinema. I'm going to go watch it. Well, you know what? I don't know how I can have respect for that person because they have no respect for other people. That's what this concept means in Islam. So hopefully that's clear. Why do Muslim women wear head coverings? Doesn't this oppress them or show that they are oppressed? I can sit here and give you a 1-hour lecture about the details of why Muslim women wear the head covering, the wisdom behind it, all of these things. But you know what I found? I found that I can sit there and talk for an hour, and because I'm a male, it does not have the same effect if a female were to talk simply for 3 to 5 minutes regarding the situation. So I request one of the females, is that Sister Nora? Can you please do me a favor and answer this question for me? Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm going to ask all of you out there to please answer this question honestly. When you see somebody wearing a headscarf, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Be honest. What is it? Muslim? So what does Muslim mean to you? Okay, okay, and so what comes to your mind when you see a Muslim? Do you think oppressed? What did you say?
Here in America anyway, we have freedom of religion for a reason.
But when you see Islam itself, the religion, what comes to your mind? War? Who thinks oppression? Okay. Do any of you guys out there think it's oppression? The reason why we wear this headscarf? Okay, this is the way I interpret why we wear the hijab, the headscarf. It's because, in a sense, we are stepping outside of this bubble of what this media is trying to portray women to be, to look like, to behave. You know, we're stepping outside this bubble and we're saying, no, we don't have to wear makeup to look beautiful. We don't have to act a certain way. We don't have to be so skinny to be beautiful. We try to bring what's inside out and trying to bring the beauty of what's in our hearts versus our physicality. So hijab in a sense, hijab in a sense, we are trying to beautify inside and outside. Okay, and another reason why we wear it is to also make it easier on the men, to lower their gaze when a woman is walking by, to gain that respect for a woman when she is walking by. And that applies for every woman who wears a hijab or who does not wear a hijab. That is what men are supposed to do, and we should make it easier on them. It's not wrong. I mean, we as hijabis in America want to try to fit in as much as possible. We don't want to stand out too much. So we try to blend in, but there are certain, there is a certain extent to that. There are certain boundaries to that. We can't, as hijabi women, wear, very, very tight clothes and walk around and say that is a hijab. But it's not for me to judge anybody for that matter. Because what I say is, when people ask me, well, what about the Muslim women that don't wear hijab? We're not here to judge. We're here to represent Islam. So it's not in our hands to say, it's not in my hands to say that woman who doesn't wear a hijab is, I'm much better than her. No, she could be much better than me in so many aspects that I'm not.
Please, save me.
Okay, men, tell me, when you see a girl wearing a very, very short mini skirt and, spaghetti strapped shirt, are you going to look at her or are you going to keep your gaze down? But no, I'm asking you personally. I'm not here saying that every man is like that. But that's human nature. We're all weak in a sense. We're all weak in a sense, and we're supposed to try to make it easier on one another, to respect one another. And